two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title?
No, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money.
Sound like Pacquiao trying to hit a lick, you know what I mean? But Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation, because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might run and beat Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao's surprising comeback. Manny Pacquiao's unexpected decision to step back into the boxing ring to face Mario Barrios has stirred up major conversation in the boxing community. Prominent promoter Eddie Hearn praised Pacquiao's legendary abilities, noting that he still has the talent to compete with fighters ranked in the top 20. However, Hearn also expressed doubts due to Pacquiao's long break from the sport and his age, now 45, raising questions about whether he can still perform at a world-class level. Fans are divided. Some are thrilled to witness the return of a boxing icon, while others are concerned about the risks to his health and the impact on his lasting legacy. Meanwhile, Barrios, a younger and currently active fighter, is expected to be a formidable challenge.
It's a very contentious subject, like, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like, we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why, we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up, and people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Pacquiao set for a stunning comeback. In a move that has shocked boxing fans around the globe, Manny Pacquiao is stepping back into the ring after his 2021 retirement, which came following a defeat to Yordenis Ugas. Now 46, the boxing icon is preparing to face Mario Barrios this July for the WBC Welterweight Championship. The WBC's president, Mauricio Sulaiman, has confirmed the match, emphasizing Pacquiao's remarkable career and his determination to conclude it as a champion. While there are understandable doubts about his age and time away from the sport, Pacquiao remains determined and hopeful to achieve greatness once again.
In a world title fight against the WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios. Date yet to be confirmed, venue yet to be confirmed, but it looks like it will be in July and in Las Vegas. Massive news announced yesterday by the WBC president, and it was so out of left field. Pacquiao hasn't fought professionally since 2021. That was 4 years ago. He was 41 at the time, and of course he lost to Yordenis Ugas, the very, very tricky Cuban fighter. Convincingly lost to Yordenis Ugas. And
trainer Greg Hackett weighs in on Pacquiao's return. Trainer Greg Hackett didn't hold back when sharing his thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's upcoming fight against Mario Barrios. Speaking openly, Hackett said that if this matchup had taken place years ago, Pacquiao would have likely dominated with ease. But times have changed. According to Hackett, the Pacquiao stepping into the ring now is a far cry from the explosive fighter fans once knew. At 45, the Filipino boxing icon may no longer possess the same speed, stamina, or finishing ability he once had. Hackett described the upcoming bout more as a high-profile event than a true contest between two prime athletes. what he sees as more spectacle than serious competition.
Sound like Pacquiao trying to hit a lick, you know what I mean? But Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might run and beat Pacquiao up. I mean, not knock him out, but, you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah. It's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios. Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang, so, I mean, why not? If he could make it happen, make it happen. Because I would love, if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like that. And that's a fight you got to get ready for.
It's a fight that boxing fans want to criticize you for.
Yeah.
But the reality is Manny Pacquiao has a diehard fan base that you're going to make money with that fight.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to see other fights at 47. You Stanionis, you Boobs, you Brian Norman.
Yeah, but he want to steal as much as he can steal. You know what I mean? Because again, this shit is not forever. Just like anything else, it's going to end. So you want to make some money and you want to do great things, but not so great where I get in there with a guy that'll kill me right now. You know what I'm saying? So all right, I'll back you out. He damn near 50 years old. I'll fight him. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So these dudes different anyway. They different. If I was Barrios, I wouldn't entertain Pacquiao. I'd be on their hunt for the rest of them straps.
Tim Bradley questions Pacquiao's motives and chances former. World champion Tim Bradley shared his thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's return, expressing doubts about the true purpose behind the fight. Bradley suggested that the bout seems driven more by financial incentives than a pursuit of boxing greatness. In his opinion, when a retired fighter makes a comeback, it often points to a desire for a big payday rather than championship aspirations. While the WBC welterweight title may be at stake, Bradley believes the real focus is the paycheck. He also noted that Mario Barrios, being younger and more active, is being set up as the fresh challenger to push Pacquiao to his limits. Bradley even speculated that Barrios might have what it takes to stop the legendary fighter, raising serious concerns about whether Pacquiao should still be stepping into the ring.
Getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. One, two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
Yeah, I actually think he can beat Barrios.
Barrios, unfazed by doubts, sees opportunity ahead. Amid the doubts and criticism surrounding the fight, Mario Barrios remains composed and self-assured. Speaking ahead of the upcoming bout, Barrios expressed his respect for Manny Pacquiao, but made it clear he's not intimidated by the boxing legend. He plans to stay focused on his strategy, aiming to use his youth, height, and reach to his advantage by applying constant pressure. For Barrios, this isn't just another paycheck, it's the biggest moment of his career. He views it as a rare chance to make history and add a legendary name like Pacquiao's to his list of opponents.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
It showed that, combination punchers, that's how Pacquiao, was landing, his punches, combinations. And, it just showed me that, he is a great fighter, but, I'm going into this camp, coming into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan. And I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
Pacquiao's return sends shockwaves through boxing. The news of Manny Pacquiao's comeback has left the boxing world buzzing with surprise. Many fans are still coming to terms with the unexpected announcement, especially since Pacquiao has been retired and out of competition since 2021. WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman confirmed that all necessary approvals have been granted, officially, clearing the way for Pacquiao to challenge for the welterweight title.
The WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman has said Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champion. That's some crazy shit. Manny Pacquiao's professional record currently stands at 62 wins. 39 of those coming via knockout, 8 losses and 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has one of the most impressive CVs in the sport of boxing. Just take a look at from 09 Ricky Hatton all the way up until here. There's so many names: Timothy Bradley, Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joshua Clotley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Jesse Vargas. Like, there's so many names on this list. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Mario Barrios' record. 29 wins, 18 of those coming via knockout, 2 losses and 1 draw on his resume. What do I make of this fight? I don't know, I mean, listen, this is a young man's sport. I ask myself, Manny Pacquiao, why do you want to come back and fight a younger fighter? You know what I mean? Mario Barrios, who is the current champion, the WBC champion. Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career. So I don't know what to say, but anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and watch a clip of the president of the WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, talk about this.
A full circle moment for Pacquiao. One of the most symbolic elements of Manny Pacquiao's return is that he's once again fighting for a WBC title, the same organization that marked the beginning of his global rise in boxing. Starting with a world championship at flyweight, Pacquiao now aims to conclude his storied career by capturing the WBC welterweight crown. This potential bookend to his legacy seems driven by more than just competition. It reflects nostalgia and a desire to finish where it all began. There's growing speculation that the bout with Mario Barrios may not be the final chapter. Rumors are swirling that if Pacquiao secures a victory, it could pave the way for a high-profile showdown with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. This has led many fans and analysts to wonder if Barrios was selected as an opponent strategically, seen as a winnable fight to build momentum toward one last massive event.
So basically, your interpretation is that the boxing public is upset because they believe Pacquiao's going to beat Barrios, which is going to lead to a Tank Pacquiao fight?
Yes, look around. Look in the Discord. That's what everybody, Pac and Tank, that's being set up.
Oh,
Tank
so,
and Pac.
okay, so they saying Barrios is the setup for Tank and Pac. I didn't see that, but your argument makes sense. If he beats Barrios, there's nothing wrong with him fighting Tank. But the issue is he don't deserve the Barrios fight off of 3 years off and a loss to Ugas.
And that's Crimea River, man. That's what boxing is. But longer deserve a Canelo fight.
Potential super fight on the horizon. If Manny Pacquiao manages to defeat Mario Barrios, it could set the stage for one of the most highly anticipated matchups in recent boxing history. A clash with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. A bout between these two dynamic southpaws, each with huge fan followings and knockout power, would undoubtedly capture global attention. The prospect of this generational showdown has already sparked excitement across the boxing world.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis has a 6 to 7 fight deal with the PBC and Amazon for $200 million. That's like $30 million a fight. All right. He also has a fight date for November. El Rayo team has said they're not fighting this year, so he's not the guy. So the question is, who is the guy who is willing to fight Tank by November and could build the fight into a fight worth $30 million? Y'all must be out y'all minds if y'all think that Manny Pacquiao versus Gervonta Tank Davis isn't a huge fight. That'll probably be his biggest fight ever. Y'all know that's a big fight because the boxing fan today, they know Tyson, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. That's who they know.
Mixed reactions to Pacquiao's comeback. Despite concerns about his age and long break from the sport, many still believe Manny Pacquiao has the skill and experience to overcome Mario Barrios. His impressive record, numerous titles across 8 weight divisions, and victories over some of boxing's biggest names have earned him a spot among the greatest fighters of all time. A win in this upcoming fight could quiet many critics and reaffirm his legendary status. However, not everyone shares this optimism. Some critics compare Pacquiao's return to Floyd Mayweather's exhibition bouts, suggesting that the fight feels more like a cash grab than a genuine competition. There is skepticism within parts of the boxing community, with some viewing this event as more of a showcase than a serious title defense.
Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios? Okay, if this was for a massive bag, I get it. But you're fighting for a non-pay-per-view event, so you're going to be fighting for free against a guy like Manny Pacquiao. Why? There are plenty of other fights to be making. But yet we're getting Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. Is Manny Pacquiao even ready to fight in the ring? Why is he? I get he still loves the sport, but listen, you are an all-time great, a legend of the sport, a Hall of Famer. Why return? Why not just go pursue other things? If anything, do those little cheap expedition fights that you did last year, or those that are similar to that of what Floyd Mayweather keeps doing. Why is Manny Pacquiao doing a real legitimate fight? I get for its world championship, but against Mario Barrios. And why is Mario Barrios agreeing to this? Unless there is some astronomically large amount of money being given out for this fight makes no sense for either party. And I'm sick of having this welterweight division held up by dumb stuff like this. We don't want this fight. It makes absolutely no sense. And all it does is hold up the welterweight division a little bit longer.
Fans divided over Pacquiao's return. An increasing portion of the fan base is expressing disappointment or indifference toward the upcoming fight. Their concerns go beyond the fight itself and focus heavily on Pacquiao's age. Approaching 46, many believe his speed, endurance, and resilience are no longer at their prime. Numerous fans have voiced that they don't want to witness another boxing legend participate in a match that feels less than wholehearted.
This is a fight that, is almost finalized from per 210 Boxing TV from Instagram. He says, shocking news, Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is a done deal for the summer. The date either would be July 19th or 26th on Amazon Prime, and the fight probably won't be on pay-per-view. And location, Las Vegas or San Antonio. So, Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. There's 210 Boxing is reporting that this fight is a done deal. I'm not going to believe it 100% until I see PBC announce it and everything per se. But, I mean, this is a fight that has been in talks from a lot of people, from that side saying that, Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao been negotiating the fight and everything. And I'm going to just be real, honestly, man, I don't care for this fight. Because I don't care to see Manny Pacquiao back fighting again in the ring. Like, it serves no justice to see Manny Pacquiao after we just seen him fight in the exhibition and was not looking good at all in this exhibition. Like, he did not look good in the exhibition fight at all. So I really don't want to see Manny Pacquiao fight Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios, I mean, he gets a big payday and he gets to put a legend on his resume. And I think Mario Barrios would definitely win this fight because I just don't think Manny Pacquiao has any gas left in the tank to fight, at an elite level.
A familiar pattern in boxing. Legends returning for paydays. The trend of retired boxing. Legends returning for lucrative paydays is becoming all too familiar. Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson have both done it, and now Manny Pacquiao appears to be following suit. Many fans are growing frustrated, feeling that these comebacks prioritize financial gain over preserving a fighter's legacy. Critics are calling this fight predictable and unnecessary, especially with younger, ambitious fighters like Mario Barrios viewed as the likely victors. While Pacquiao's magic still lives on in the hearts of fans, there's a concern that these comeback bouts could tarnish the lasting memories of their greatness.
Manny Pacquiao he hasn't been a pro in a minute, and they're coming back to fight someone for a belt. Barrios technically should win, but this isn't fair. Like, we could have had Brian Norman Jr. versus Barrios, but we're getting Manny Pacquiao versus Barrios. I don't think anyone wants to see that. Manny Pacquiao is past his prime. He's not in his fighting years no more. And then can he make 147? And then you're letting him fight for the belt. That doesn't make any type of sense. And then if he beats Barrios, let's say hypothetically he beats him, is he gonna unify? Cause Boots, that's sitting on the lamb to the slaughter. Brian Norman, that's sitting on the lamb to the slaughter. Like, this doesn't make no sense. These young fighters, like, they can really hurt Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao couldn't even handle Ugas. Like, just think about how this is all playing out. It doesn't make sense. This fight shouldn't be made. Like, there's other fighters that Barrios can fight. Like, he could try to fight Boost, because I think unification is Trump mandatories.
Barrios' coach stays confident. Ahead of the fight, Mario Barrios' coach remains optimistic as the big fight approaches. In interviews, he emphasized that this is a major opportunity and that they're treating it with the utmost seriousness. While acknowledging Pacquiao's legendary status, the coach stated that Barrios is preparing as if he's facing Pacquiao at his peak. He also highlighted Barrios' fearless attitude, saying the fighter never shies away from challenges and is ready to take on whatever Pacquiao brings to the ring.
Mentioned a lot of people are asking what's going on. Are the rumors true? Is it possibly Spence? Is it Pacquiao? Who is Mario Barrios sharing the ring with next?
You know what? He's put himself in a great position through hard work. He's a tremendous story when he turned pro and what he's been able to accomplish being a two-time world champion. And I always told everybody, he fights all comers. When we fought Gervonta Davis, all my hats off to Gervonta Davis. But it was very difficult for us to make the weight. We were going to move up in weight. They presented us, with this opportunity, and he said, you know what, I'll bite down for it one more time. And then from there, obviously we had a tough loss, but it was a competitive fight. And his first fight at 147 pounds, he goes on and takes on Keith Thurman. No tune-ups, no getting used to the thing. Goes at that point is about as good as you can get in the division, and took on that. So he takes on all comers, all challenges. His first world title against Batirov, the Russian, is about as tough as you could have done at the time. And so I think he's earned the right now to be in the biggest, best possible fights. And now it's going to be up to Al Heyman and Louis DeCubas Jr. on what they see is best and fit for his career, whether that's, Pacquiao, Spence, if that's a unification with Boots Ennis.
Pacquiao's advisor highlights symbolism behind the fight. Sean Gibbons, Manny Pacquiao's advisor, explained that choosing to face Mario Barrios was a deliberate and meaningful decision. Barrios holds the WBC title, the very same organization that awarded Pacquiao his first world championship. Gibbons emphasized that reclaiming the WBC belt would serve as a fitting bookend to Pacquiao's illustrious career. He noted that this fight represents more than just money or competition. It's about legacy, symbolism, and finishing on a high note. Regardless of the outcome, the narrative surrounding this bout is undeniably powerful.
We have Sean Gibbons here, Manny Pacquiao's right-hand man, advisor, head of MP Promotions. Sean, I know you spent a lot of time with Manny Pacquiao over recent weeks and months. There's a lot of conversations about Manny's comeback. What is the latest that you could offer and the update around the potential matchup with Mario Barrios?
Well, the latest is Manny's fighting an exhibition on 28th in Japan. So, you don't really look past that. But if he's successful there, Mario Barrios, we've talked about Conor Benn, which I believe was a great fight. That would have been a tremendous fight. We could have done it in England. We could have done it in the U.S. We could have done it in Riyadh season. But the fact that he wasn't able to come off the suspension, that put the brakes on that. So that brought us to Mario Barrios. He's the WBC world champion, Manny's first belt ever. many years ago was a WBC belt. So
That wraps up today's video. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for what's coming next.